Good morning, everyone. In today's class, we will be discussing about fire safety. The reason why I have taken up this particular topic, as you all know, in yesterday's The Hindu editorial, they mentioned about this hospital fights in Vijayawada and Ahmedabad. Okay, so leading to at least 19 deaths. Okay, so and the most important thing here is, and these are it's a if you take the case of Andhra Pradesh here, it's a private run hospital. It's not an hospital actually, it's a COVID-19 care center. Okay, so it's being under the operational control of private hospital. There this particular fire incident took place. So this raised certain questions like and like what you call failure to obtain no objection certificate. Okay, so they haven't got the no objection certificate to run. Okay, so this eventually takes. Okay, so those we will discuss in the particular editorial. What you have to highlight is this particular. Okay, so that's a case study. The 1997 Upahar cinema fire broke out that took place in New Delhi in Green Park. Okay, so that we should discuss. Along with that, they mentioned about this national building code. So the national building code of the recent, the 2016 one. Okay, so that also we will be discussing. Then eventually we will be discussing about the safety regulations, the fire safety regulations in the country. Okay, so this is the topic. So to this, so where we can link this up, we can see that if you see, we will be taking up this issue as this, the current issue is hospital fires. Okay, so this comes under the category of residential and non-residential fires. See, if you take the concept of fire questions here, one is we have this forest fires. Okay, second one is this residential and non-residential fires. Okay, so forest fires is a separate category, though this we will not be discussing here. So what we will be discussing here in this particular category, that is the residential and non-residential fires. Okay, so this will be immediately taking us to the topic, that is fire safety. Fire safety in India. So this fire safety topic means here we will be definitely discussing about this topic under disaster management. Disaster management. This comes in GS paper 3. In GS paper 3, after environment, you will be seeing the topic called as disaster management. Okay. So in disaster management, under the topic residential and non-residential fires, okay, we will be discussing about fire safety in India. So this is the linking to the subject. Next, come to the actual topic, that is fire safety in India with respect to residential and non-residential fires. So this is the actual topic. So to this particular topic, now we will be having the discussions. So what is the current issue that is there? That current issue will be useful as a recent example with respect to residential and non-residential fires in India. Okay. So as I mentioned here, the course of the lecture, it goes like this. So we will be discussing about the background with respect to fire safety in India. And we will be taking up the case study, the Upahar cinema fire broke out, the 1997 case. And we have the national building code, and we will be discussing about some solutions. So first, let us go to the first one, that is the background. If you see, if you take the case of fire safety in India, fire safety is a state subject. This is the first point we have to remember. So fire safety is a state subject. That means the concerned states are responsible in coming up with regulations to deal with fire safety in the country. Okay, so within that, though the states are the final authorities, within that the implementing authorities is actually the municipalities. It is the municipalities, okay, who have given the power under this 74th constitutional amendment. So the 74th constitutional amendment act, so it created a 12th schedule. Okay, under the 12th schedule, okay, we allocated these responsibilities, the powers, authority and responsibilities of the municipalities, under which municipalities deals with fire safety in the country. Okay, so we have an article also for this, that article 243W. Okay, so under article 243W, it is the municipal authorities, okay, who deals with residential and non-residential related fire safety in the country. Okay, so the final, what you call the final implementation authority here is the states. Okay, states will frame the policies. Okay, and via the municipalities they will be implemented. And for this, the most important thing here, for this, the national level policy framework will be given by the union government. Okay, suppose for example, the national level framework with respect to fire safety in the country will be given by the Standing Fire Safety Council. So it was created in the year 1980. So this Fire Advisory Council, sorry, I previously mentioned as fire safety, the Fire Advisory Council. So this Fire Advisory Council will be having members representing from the states, okay, representing from some of the ministries like Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Roads and Transport, Ministry of Communications. Okay, so like that. So the ministries at the national central level, they will participate along with representatives at the state level. Okay, so they all will be framing the fire safety regulations in the country. So in that context, the Standing Fire Safety Council, the Fire Advisory Council is important. Okay, then as I mentioned here, that's why I gave some examples. Also, like we can take the Maharashtra example, or you can take the Delhi example. So states will come up with their statutory provisions. Like we have here Maharashtra fire safety. You can see that Maharashtra, this Fire Safety Act, this Fire Prevention and Life Safety Measures Act 2000, and we also have this Delhi. Okay, and the Delhi Fire Prevention and Fire Safety Act 1986. Okay, so these are some state level examples. So each state, they got their state specific acts to deal with fire safety in the country. Along with that, as I mentioned, at the union level, what kind of support will be provided? The financial assistance. Okay, till 2015, we used to have schemes. In the year 2009, one scheme, 2015, another scheme. We used to have schemes to deal with the fire safety. Later, in the recent after 2015, now we do not have any schemes. Directly, the funds will be given to the states. With respect to fire safety, center will allocate certain amount of funds to the states. Then states will utilize them. So this is where the financial support from the center comes. Second one is technical assistance. Technical assistance means doing research on fire safety equipment and providing this technical assistance to the states to deal with fire safety. Along with that, capacity building. Capacity building means here awareness generation. Okay, like making people more aware about the fire safety. Okay, at the same time, strengthening the institutions to deal with the fire safety. This all comes under capacity building. At the same time, we have this national level policy framework. Suppose, for example, if you take the case of NBC, okay, the National Buildings Code. Okay, so under the National Buildings Code, there is a specific there's a specific aspect to deal with the fire safety in the country. Okay, so in that way, at the union level also, we have certain regulations to deal with fire safety in the country. So in this way, the regulations are being made up at the national level, at the state level, and at the local level to deal with fire safety in the country. So this is the background. How fire safety regulations are, how fire safety is actually being managed in the country. So you can also take this whole framework as fire safety management in India. You can mention this as fire safety management in India. You can this whole information you can consider under the framework called as fire safety management in India. Under this particular heading, this whole information you can take up. Okay. So after this, then let us go to go into the details, the analysis part. That is, do we have any reports? Do you have any reports that are mentioning about the status of fire safety in India? So these reports, so what will be the advantage of these reports? They will let us know, okay, the status of fire safety in the country. Suppose, for example, if you take the first one, India Risk Survey. India Risk Survey. So it will be every year, it will be released by FICCI. FICCI, Federation of Industrial Chambers of Commerce in India. Federation of Industrial Chambers of Commerce in India, established in the year 1927. It's a pre-independent industrial association. Okay, so it releases a report called as India Risk Survey. Okay, so the very purpose of this report is what are the risks with respect to do the business in the country. Okay, so to do business in the country, okay, what are the risks? So it will find out, it will categorize the risks. Okay. Suppose, for example, if you see right now, according to the India Risk Survey report, as of now, the 10th biggest threat to business in the country is these fires. So other threats are, we have like here, we have information and cyber insecurity, natural hazards, okay, terrorism. So there are some other threats. But if you see, according to the India Risk Survey, if you take the case of the fires are the 10th risk factors that are creating challenges to do business in the country. Then you can just understand to what extent the fire safety, the fire, if you really have a strong fire safety regulations, to what extent it strengthens our business environment also. So with this report, that we can understand. So at the same time, another report got released by National Crime Records Bureau, NCRB. According to the National Crime Records Bureau, Bureau's report called as Accidental Deaths and Suicides in India. So in the accidental death concept, if you take the case of fire accidents. Okay, so this is the recent report. Remember, this is the recent report to deal with the fire accidents in the country. So after this, we do not have any other reports. This is as of now, this is the recent report. According to accidental deaths and suicides in India, a report released by the National Crime Records Bureau in the year 2015, if you see, around more than 1 lakh deaths, if you see, in the last 5 years, that means from 2010 to 2015, okay, are due to fire accidents. The most important aspect. 1 lakh deaths took place due to the fire accidents. So that indicates the gravity of the situation, the gravity of the problem. And the most interesting factor here is that there is an increase of the residential building fires. It consisting around 45%. Okay, around 45%, though I did not mention here, around 45% of the fires in the year 2015 took place are of residential fires. Got it? Another interesting factor. See, if you see the top 20 cities, because mostly residential fires means in most of the occasions we see in the urban areas. Why in urban areas? Everybody knows. Because we have a huge population and the congestion is more. Okay, we have more number of buildings located in a very small area. So that's why if there is any small incident happens, so the casualties will be more. So because of this congestion and all, because of not proper planned development, because due to which we do not have proper ventilation, not proper conducting of safety audits, we will be seeing the fires. So that's why. But if you see the most interesting fact, out of the given 20 cities, the top 20 cities, 14 cities are actually not metros. Okay. Metros means million plus cities. If you see the non-metros, then in non-metros also, the fire issues are actually getting increased. So it means in the semi-urban areas, okay. First of all, here the development is taking place. Here, development is taking place, but to this development, better regulations are not there. The most important aspect. Now we are encouraging real estate into the semi-urban areas. Okay, so new buildings will be coming up. But if you do not conduct proper fire safety audits, okay, if there involves corruption, okay, if you do not come up with proper awareness generation, so that will create further challenge in the coming years for India with respect to fire safety. So here the example is, if you see in the recent past, out of the 20 cities, in 14 cities where the fire accidents took place, 14 of them are non-metros. So very serious cause of concern. So from these two reports, this is what the kind of analysis we can make with respect to fire safety in the country. Okay. Then come to the, as I mentioned here, I have taken this report, this particular information from the report, from the FICCI report. See here, the fire, it is the 10th one. The other you can see here, corruption, natural hazards, crime, okay, terrorism, governance instability, information, intellectual property theft, business espionage. Business espionage means thefting the secrets, stealing the secrets due to the strikes. So these are the risk trends, risks to the business environment in the country, risks to business environment in the country. Okay, so in that, if you see, this is here comes the fights. So fire also playing a very crucial role, okay, as a risk factor to do business in the country. This you can take. You can also see here accidents also there. So here accidents means here they will take that as road accidents, rail accidents. Okay. Now issues. If you see here, if issues means you can take, you can divide them into different dimensions: political, economic, administrative, socio-cultural, and technological dimensions. Because in each dimension you will be getting one issue. That's why I have to mention the dimensions here. Political dimensions mean here corruption is there, and lack of appropriate funding, lack of funding for the research with respect to fire safety equipment. Okay, so like that, if you see one by one point here, the first point here is first of all, deficiency in the firefighting infrastructure itself. Okay, so we have a huge deficiency. If you see the Home Ministry's data, 144 towns with a population of 1 lakh above. There we have a huge deficiency of firefighting infrastructure. Okay, so first and foremost thing, we have a lack of infrastructure to deal with the fire safety in the country. The first point. Second one is with respect to regulation, administrative challenge. So we are not conducting timely these fire safety audits, and most of the fire safety audits, they are involving corruption. Okay, at the same time issuing this NOC. NOC means this no objection certificate. Okay. So these invoices will be issued. So while issuing invoices also, they're not following any transparent procedure in most of the occasions. Okay. So these are the major challenges in terms of administration. So these are the administrative inefficiencies. So administrative, this whole thing you can consider as, this whole information you can, administrative inefficiency. Okay. So under administrative inefficiency, this particular information, this particular things like fire safety audits, no objection certificates. So these all will be coming under administrative inefficiency. We are issuing invoices, but we are not following a transparent procedure. We are not doing proper inspections. Okay. Next one. Though we have this national building code, we have this national building code. Present one is 2016. Though we have this code, but it is not mandatory on part of the states. It is not mandatory on part of the state to incorporate all the points. Those states will incorporate, but it is not compulsion on them. If any point, if they do not want if they do not want to incorporate, government cannot, the union government cannot say anything, because here the implementation is with the states, because it's the fire safety is a state subject. Okay, so fire safety is a state subject, though we have the national level guidelines, but so due to the issues here between the federal issues, because it's a state subject, union government cannot say anything. And states also will say that we have our own way of implementation. Okay, so here the coordination issue, the coordination between center and states. Okay, so next one is this with respect to society, lack of awareness. Okay, so if suddenly if the fire broke out, so along with fire we will also see the stampede. Suppose for example, if you take any public gathering, there if the fire broke out, so along with that we'll also see the other the side effects of it, like the stampedes. So due to which also we will be seeing the casualties. Okay, so for this the major reason can be what you call this lack of awareness generation. At the same time, we have this R&D. We are not investing effectively in the research and development to come up with the new technologies with respect to fire safety equipment. That we are not doing. And on one side, with increased population, we are also going for the haphazard development. This haphazard means irregular. So irregularities in development. We are we are encouraging the real estate sector, but what about the regulations? What about the building codes? Are they really following that? Okay, at least recently with respect to this financial efficiency, we came up with this RERA, Real Estate Regulatory Authority. But at the same time, the fire safety for these buildings also is very much crucial. So if you go for this haphazard development, it leads to congestion. So because of the congestion, the intensity of that particular incident will be more. If in one building, if the fire broke out, because of the congestion, it may got spread to the other buildings also. Okay, so these are the major issues. So then, as I told you here, with this Upahar Cinema case study, why this is important is that in this particular case, the Supreme Court mentioned like here compensation means not just the owner of the cinema hall, but government also responsible, governmental authorities, the one who gave permission, the electricity board, okay, and the Minister of Home Affairs. So under whom the one who gave the certificate. So these all are responsible for that. Okay, so what exactly this issue is that in the year 1997, in near Green Park in Delhi, in that Upahar Cinema Theatre around 3 o'clock, That time this border movie, the border movie was going on. Suddenly fire was broke out. The reason for this was because of lack of proper maintenance of that yeah, that transformer. Okay, they did not follow proper norms while doing the maintenance of the transformer. So eventually the electric the short circuit took place. Eventual fire broke out. 59 deaths. Total 162 casualties. 59 deaths took place. It became a very big issue later. If you see the reasons for the number of casualties, see, when the sudden fire broke out, it immediately will not lead to casualties because of lack of proper safety norms while constructing the building. That actually leads to the casualties. See, if there occurs a fire, at max what will happen? There will be burning of property. At max there will be burning of property happens. But why mostly the deaths takes place? Due to lack of proper following of the safety norms. Take the case of this Upahar Cinema tragedy. Okay, they did not come up with any this public announcement system. Okay, when the tragedy took place, there was no public announcement system to announce to the people that these are the these are the safety exits you can rush into. Suppose, for example, if this is the whole theater surrounding, suppose here we have some safety exits. Okay, but people doesn't know. Whenever if some people moves in one direction, all people will moving to the same place. It leading to stampede. Okay, if there is a proper public announcement system, if you announce in that, if there exist alarms, then at least people will move to different directions. When people move to different directions, they can spread. Then you can reduce the stampede. So there, if you see, no proper public announcement system, no emergency lights. Okay. Next, more, suppose for example, 100 seats were given permission. These people, they will go for 150 seats. Okay. And this coming up with more number of seats, so that is creating a congestion to move to for the movement of the people. Right now also we will see mostly in the theaters. In theaters, this is the most common thing. They will take permission for 100 seats, then they will increase the number of seats. And no proper regulations for this. Okay. And without proper permission, giving the premises for the shops, for the parking, no proper place for the parking, not proper maintenance of the equipment. Suppose, for example, in the case of this Upahar theater, this transformer, they did not follow the safety norms while repairing the transformer. These all eventually led to breaking out of the fire and eventual casualties. Okay. If the fire breaks out, okay, fine. But because they did not follow the safety norms, no proper exits. Okay. The parking slot was given for shops. Okay. And you came up with more number of seats than the required, than the acceptable limit. So these all are the reasons for the deaths. So that's why, if suppose for example the fire break is a kind of hazard. Okay, but due to that hazard, we have the risk of it. What's the risk here? The people and the property. Okay, you cannot stop fire breakouts. Okay, but what you can do? You can stop the casualties. So can we stop the fires? Can you know when the fire break will happen? We cannot. But what we can do? If there is a fire breakout, at least we should reduce the casualties. If you train the people, suppose for example, if I know that if there is a residential fire, how I have to escape. If I know the awareness generation, if I have the awareness generation, I can escape from my side. I can save my life. At the same time, if the governmental machinery, if they comes to my place and if they checks the equipment, then the fire accident will not take place. At the same time, my building owner, if he or she, if they takes care of the building properly by properly maintaining the fire safety certificates, it will not take place. Okay. So it means what I'm trying to say here, there is not just one factor that is responsible for the death of the individual. There are multiple factors. Okay. Lack of awareness on the individual side. Okay. Failure on part of the government to implement the regulations. Failure on part of the building owners. Okay. To follow the rules. Understood. So here all these factors are responsible. So this is what happened in the Upahar Cinema case in this particular case study. That's why if you see the Supreme Court, it mentioned the concept of the civil compensation. Okay, so here the mistake was not just done by only the owners of the Upahar Cinema Theatre. Municipal Corporation of Delhi also responsible. Delhi Vidyut Board also responsible. Okay, the license giving authority also responsible. Guilt of negligence. So the license giving authority, how you renewed the license? Without proper inspection. So it's a guilt of negligence. Because of your negligence, that incident took place. So you all four are responsible for that, not just the owners. That's why you all have to provide compensation. So this is what the Supreme Court took the stand. Okay. With respect to the Upahar Cinema fire broke case. Okay. So this is a very interesting factor. Suppose, for example, if you take the case of that chemical disasters, we discussed about the MC Mehta case. MC Mehta case we discussed with respect to chemical disasters. In the similar way, with respect to fire safety, we have this civil compensation with respect to this Upahar Cinema tragedy case. So this is what the court mentioned here. It is not only the owners, but also the government authorities were also responsible for the tragic incident. Okay. So this is the takeaway point. Okay. Then let's come to the this one, the National Building Code. As I mentioned, this National Building Code will be given by this Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. Okay, so it comes up with regulations, like suppose, for example, with respect to fire safety, okay, fire prevention, okay, fire protection, how to save the lives of the individuals. So for that purpose, we have this National Building Code. So it divided the buildings in the country into total 9 groups. Okay, so total 9 groups is like, suppose, for example, residential buildings, educational buildings, institutional, assembly, business, mercantile, industrial, okay, storage, hazardous. Okay, so while giving certificates also, you have to give certificates under these categories, because for each one, for each category, the nature of the challenge is different. Okay, so first started in the year 1970, the first National Building Code, and the second one in 2005, and the recent one is 2016. So this is the recent building code that we are following. So in the recent building code, we further incorporated environment friendly regulations. Okay. So we further incorporate the sustainable development measures in the year 2016 one. So that is where it is special. Okay. So we want more use of technology. We want more awareness generation. Okay. We want less use of materials, more eco-friendly materials. Okay. So that is the specialty for the 2016 National Building Code. Okay. So this actually classified the buildings like this. Okay. So different categories. So under these categories, and the fire safety regulations also has to be followed. Okay. So under National Building Code, this fire safety aspect also played a very crucial role. Okay. So it divided the broad areas into like this fire prevention. So in the fire safety regulations, the measures, so that means if the states make any fire safety regulation, these fire safety regulations should have both preventive measures and mitigative measures. Then you can ask a question: what is the difference between prevention and mitigation? prevention means before happening of a disaster. Okay, prevention means before happening of the disaster, you will take up the measures. That means you want to prevent the disaster. You do not want the disaster to happen. But unfortunately, if the disaster happens, then you will take up the measures to reduce the risk of the disaster. Okay. So suddenly, if the fire broke out, immediately what is your major concern? You want to reduce the number of deaths. If you want to reduce the number of deaths, what you have to do? You should have a immediate first aid setup. Okay. And you should follow safety norms. Safety norms like, suppose for example, immediately you have to shift the people to the nearby hospital. Then you have to come up with what you call as support from the governmental machinery. Suppose, for example, if the fire broke out within 5 minutes, in urban to come within 5 minutes. In rural areas, they have to come within 20 minutes. So this is the regulation. Rural areas 20 minutes, in urban areas it is 5 minutes. They have to reach within 5 minutes. So if they reach within 5 minutes, you can stop the fire. You can start the process to stop the fire. Okay, you can reduce the number of casualties. So mitigation means what? Mitigation means after happening of the particular disaster, you will take up the measures. With how much fast you will take the measures, that much you can reduce the risk. If there is no nearby hospitals available, no ambulances available, okay, no doctors available, then what will happen? The casualties will be more. Okay, so that's why the fire safety regulations should have both preventive and mitigative measures. Preventive measures means timely inspection. Okay, timely auditing. Okay, next, providing proper training to the people. Okay, coming up with the modern technologies. What all these are? These are the preventive measures. Here, not allowing the fire to happen. So coming up with the buildings with proper ventilation. Okay, using proper fire safety mechanisms in the buildings. If you do all this, what will happen? If at all, if there is any fire breakout happens, immediately you can stop it. You can prevent it. So that's why the National Building Code, 3 divisions. One is to prevent. Second one is life safety. That means how to save the lives of the individual. Third is protection. As maximum as possible, we have to ready. We should not allow the fire to break out. If the fire broke out, how to stop it? At the same time, how to reduce the number of casualties due to the breakout of the fire. Okay, so these are the broad areas that will be covered under the National Building Code 2016. So here the procedure they follow, like first, before construction of the building, after that constructing the building. In 2 phases they have to follow. They have to go for this fire safety regulations. At the same time, they mentions, like suppose for example, below 15 years means below 15 meters means no NOC, no objection certificate. If it is more than 15 meters, then you have to go for the you have to come with the no objection certificate. At the same time, every 3 years you have to renew your fire safety agreement with the concerned authority when it comes to non-residential buildings. It is 5 years when it comes to residential buildings. Some regulations. Okay. Finally, what are the solutions? Solutions, as you know, for any these kind of things, the first and foremost thing is you need to have a national level assessment. First, you should identify the hazard prone areas. With respect to fires, what are the hazard prone areas in the country? Within the country, you have to identify. Okay. So if you are able to identify the regions, then in these places you can pay attention on. Okay. So within the country, you have to identify first. Then second one is, so that's what, even in the municipal corporations, if you see the 13th Finance Commission, the 13th Finance Commission even mentioned that municipal corporation should be part of the making of this hazard identification plan. In their region, each municipality should submit the plan. In which region or in which part of their municipality that are highly prone to the fire accidents. Okay, so these should be implemented. Second one is effective fire safety audit. How this effective fire safety audit can be done? Now, like auditing with the independent authorities. Like in Maharashtra, in every 6 months, they have to submit the what you call the audit report to the local authorities. Okay, and next, as we mentioned, NBC as of now is not mandatory, but it should be made mandatory on part of the states. Okay, so that there can be uniformity across the country. As of now, each state have their own regulations. Okay, next one is awareness generation. How this awareness generation can happen? At the school level and college level, we can make this as part of the curriculum. We can conduct workshops, we can conduct mock drills. Okay, next is with respect to compensation, we can have this fast track courts. Okay, so to provide early compensation to the victims, if they face any challenges due to the fire tragedy, immediately compensation has to be provided. So there should not be any kind of delays. For that, we can establish fast track courts, a separate court system to separate courts to deal with these kind of issues. So along with that, civil society's participation, active participation from the civil society, that means voluntary organizations, non-governmental organizations. Okay, so they can participate, they can generate awareness. Okay, so finally conclusion. So still lot needs to be done to make the country fire safe. Okay, so we have to learn the lessons of the previous incidents. Okay, at the same time, we need the cooperation of the government and the individual and the organizations and everybody to make the country Surakshit Bharat. Okay, so ultimately here what we are trying to say is the total final governance issue. Here it's ultimate, we need the ultimate cooperation of everyone, from the residential build, from the buildings owners and the residents and the non-governmental organizations, government, media, everyone. So with all cooperation, we can make the country Surakshit Bharat. So with that note, I'm ending this topic. Thank you.